What is going on, creatives? Tunde again from Ceasar Graphics. Welcome to my channel and welcome to my weekly free design training for creatives. So I have designs I'm going to set right today. I'm sure you guys are going to enjoy this video. So sit back, relax, and keep watching. Before I get to the working on today's project, okay, I want to quickly let you guys know that we are, creative thinkers, and we solve problem. All right, we solve visual problem, and how we do this right is through the use of the design elements. All right, the use of the design element the right way is how we create solution with visuals. And whenever you're asked to work on design project, I always say this to you guys, that what you need to do is to put two people in mind, the client and the viewers. Why you need to put the client in mind or have the client in mind? I need to go back to that. The two people you need to have in mind is the client and the audience. All right. Now, why you need to have the client in mind is because the client is like the gates. All right, is the gate that gives access to the design to get to the viewers. If you don't satisfy the client, there's no way the design is going to get to the viewers or the audience. So you need to know the client's problem. You need to understand what the clients need. You need to understand the brand, what the brand needs you to the solution the brand is looking at you creating, and then see how you can now create the project in a way that it captures the attention of the right viewers. All right, so I have this design I'm going to share with you guys that I received from one of the my group members, and I'll share what is not working on the design, and I'll show you guys the solution on how to achieve a professional project using the information on the design. Now, but before I get to the design, I want to quickly add this because I know some of you may not get what I'm trying to teach you here right now. The fact that I'm creating this project does not mean this is the only solution to make this project look right. There are 1,000 ways, there are 1,000 concepts that you can come up with that will surely draw the attention of the viewers. In fact, there are so many concepts that you can come up with that will even look better than what I'm teaching you guys here. But what I'm trying to, my focus in this training is to teach you guys what to watch out for whenever you're asked to work on design projects. All right. So the first thing I need to do before we get to the redesigning of this project is to share what is not working here. When you are asked to work on project like this, because I can see that the title of this project is Orphanage Outreach. And, like I always say to you guys that we are storytellers, and how we tell story in graphic design is through using the design elements the right way. How we evoke emotion in design is through the use of type and color. So if this project is talking about orphanage outreach, the question you need to ask yourself, even if the client did not give you the breakdown, the question you need to ask yourself is, when you hear the word orphan, what comes to your mind? It means someone who does not have a parent. And you should know that for this foundation to do this, all right, their goal is to help the orphans. So what you need to do is to look for ways you can use colors and type that look friendly. Now, your job as a designer is to now look for elements that will portray, that will project this on the project. And I'm going to show you guys how to do this. But before I get to that, I want to quickly share the things that I noticed that are not working here. The first thing is the type. All right, the type used here is not really okay. I know this is a fictional project. All right, so the type here is not really giving that, that friendly look. It's looking too playful. In fact, it's not even playful alone. It's looking too wicked because of the effect around it. Display type is not always nice for when you are trying to project something that shows caring. All right. When you're trying to portray something friendly, display type is not always nice. So whenever you're working on projects like this, please flee away from display, type. All right. So the type here is not really working. And then the other thing that is not working here is the color used on the project. I know so many of us know that red is one of the colors that we use to show love on our project. But when you now use less saturation of the color, you are going to make the project look dull, and it's going to change the message. All right, it's not going to make the message balanced. And for projects like this that says orphanage, outreach, I don't expect you to use red. Why? Because red most time always look like blood if there's nothing that shows that love symbol on the project. If the project is a romance or love relationship project, aside from using the red color the background, the elements that shows that love shape is part of what make people know that, okay, this project is for it's something that got to do with relationship. But in a case where we're talking about orphanage, it's giving that blood look, and it's not really helping here. So I'm going to show you guys how I normally get the right color. All right, and I hope you guys can start using that on your project. All right, so like we did last week, what I'm going to do is to continue with the frame here, and I'm going to create my version on this background. So the first thing I'm going to do is to change the color of this to white. Sorry, it should be white. So I'm using Control Backspace, which is the shortcut to my foreground color here. All right, so now I'm going to quickly type out something here so you guys can learn how I pick colors and type. So we're looking at creating a project that looks friendly. So what are the other things that are closer to friendly? I say caring. All right, caring. So let's just look for something that shows friendly or caring. So I'm going to switch to, or maybe I'm going to put my browser here so you guys can see what I'm doing. So I'm going to go to Google. All right, and I'll go to Google image, and I'm going to type let's just say caring color. Now you only do this if you don't have a logo from the brand, or maybe the brand gives you the opportunity to use any color of your choice. That's the only way you can do this. But if you have a brand manual, please go with the color on the brand manual. So I'm acting like there's no color from the brand yet. Okay, I hope somebody get that. Please make sure you work with the brand manual whenever you're working on a project like this. Okay, so we have colors right here. All right, and I'm going to scroll down to look for okay, you know what we're going to do? Let's just go to where I normally get colors. So I'm going to go to color.adobe right there, and I'll go under Explore. All right, I'm going to click on Explore, and I'm going to type friendly like that, and let's see what we have. All right, so we have lots of friendly colors here. All right, we have lots of friendly colors here, and let's see if now these are colors that you can use. All right, you can always pick any colors from here, but I am going to pick the one I think I'm okay with. Okay, so I'm going to go with let's say I'm a fan of blue. All right, and I'm going to go with blue. Okay, let's just use blue. Okay, I'm going to use this blue right here. All right, because there's this cool feel. All right, this friendly, cool feel that blue normally gives to projects that shows caring, some projects that show friendly. So we're going to look for a cool color for this. So I'm going to use blue. All right. So now the next thing I'm going to look for is the image to use. So it's an orphanage artwork. So I'm going to go to one of the websites where I get free images. So I'm going to go to Pixel. Is it Pixel or Pixel? Okay, Pixels. Yeah, Pixels. And I'm going to look for a picture of a child. So let's just type African child. Okay. Good. So we have pictures of kids here. that we can use. So I'm going to scroll down till I see my preferred option. Okay, you know what we're going to do, guys? Let's just all right. So I'm just going to quickly download this. All right. So then I'm going to drag and drop this here. Okay, and I'll move this down to somewhere here. So this picture is too big, so I'm going to make it smaller. All right, I'm going to make it a bit smaller and just position this here. Then what I'm going to do now is I'm going to draw a frame. So I'm just going to draw a frame like that, somewhere here. Okay, then I'm going to change the color to the blue color that we copied now. Like that. Good. So, but right now, my background is not filling I'm seeing all these white borders around my frame here. So we need to cover that. So I'm going to make a copy and right click and rasterize this. Then I'm going to use the rectangle marquee. All right. Then I'll draw a marquee shape right there and hit F5. And I'm going to make sure my content option here is set to content aware. And I'm going to select the OK button. So Photoshop is going to fill that side for me. And I'm going to do the same move here. All right. I'm sure somebody is having fun. So I'm going to hold on Shift again and hit F5 to activate the content aware again and hit the OK button like that. And I'm going to hit Ctrl D to, take away the marquee right there. All right, then I'm going to make this visible. Now, listen, guys, the reason why I decided to make the picture of the child smaller is because the information on the project is key. All right, so making the child's picture bold and too big is going to hide the information I want to place on the project. And, like so many of you already know, white space is very important in graphic design. White space is what makes your content, your elements to breathe. When everything is looking too tight, all right, it's going to choke the element on the project. And that's the reason why I decided to make the picture of the child smaller. And that's another thing I want every one of you to learn how to do right. Okay. Now, but right now the frame is, covering the child's head. And another reason why I'm not going to, I don't work these ways because when you draw a frame, all right, when you create this type of frame on your project, all right, there's a separation that this gives to your project. Like it makes it look like the information on the frames are different. So what I'm going to do now is to create that connection, is to connect the two frames together. So what I'm going to do now is I'm going to hide this and I am going to select my pen tool right there and I'm going to zoom in. Then I'm going to just quickly crop the head of the child. Okay. So I'm going to hit Control and Enter to convert the part to a marquee. I don't need this, so I'm going to delete it. All right. Then, so I'm going to go to Select, and I'm going to select Mask because I need to crop the hair of the child. All right, I need to crop the hair of the child. So because if I don't do this, the edges of the head of that child is going to look too razor sharp, and it's not going to create that. It's not going to make the unity on the project balance. So I'm going to make sure I'm on the Refine Edge tool, and I'm going to apply my brush to the edges of the parts. All right. Like that. It's going to do the same thing here. And I'm going to select the contaminate color here and hit the OK button like that. All right. Yeah. So this is good. So I want to make this visible. But right now, we're still covering the child's head. So what we're going to do now is I'm just going to drag this and drop right here like that. All right. And what we're going to do is make sure you are on the layer mask of that layer right there and hit Ctrl I to reverse the mask like that. All right. Then if I zoom out now, you see we have this like so. All right. So something is not right here. Okay. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to add the layer mask to this. Select the brush tool because this side here, I'm seeing this error here and I don't like it. So I'm going to apply the brush tool to that side right there and do the same thing here, you know, like that. All right. So this is nice. Okay. So in order to now create that, all right, to make this child look like an orphan, the color you apply to the child's image also matters, which is one of the things you also need to watch out for whenever you're working on design project that you're planning to use to tell a story. The color must not pop. All right, don't make the color pop, because making the color pop is going to make it look like everything is okay. But when you reduce the saturation of the picture a bit, it makes it look like the child actually needs help. So what I'm going to do is to add hue saturation to this, and I'm going to dial down the saturation like that. All right. So this right now is looking like something is actually wrong, like the child needs help. Then we are going to add curve to, you know, add depth to the image like that. Please, if this is making sense to you, I will appreciate if you can give this video, you know, a like and subscribe if you have not. All right. Now, so what I'm going to do is to add my content. All right. So I'm going to copy the title, which is the orphanage outreach. And I'm going to paste that here like that. And I'm going to hit Ctrl A to select the text and check. Okay, the color is already white. So what we just need to do is to move this above this. Cool. And I am going to push this down like that. And I'm going to make this bigger. Now, the reason why I'm using a sans serif type here is because sans serif is one of the character. I'm talking of fonts here that goes with any type of project. All right. And it's one of the fonts that always show that friendly look on our project. And that's the reason why I'm using this. Okay. So I'm going to move this to, let's move this somewhere around here. All right, and I'm going to close the space between the rows, and we can now do the same thing here again by adjusting the space between the rows. All right, so let's copy the foundation name right there. I'm going to hit Ctrl C because we don't have a logo. So I'm just going to place this right here. All right, so activate the free transform and just make this smaller. Okay, like that, and just move this to somewhere around here. Okay, then we can make this bigger and move it to somewhere here like so. All right, so project like this is always nice to make it look corporate. Corporate design does not really require this you know, using too many different characters or just, you know, playing with the title. Now there are times you can do this. You only do this when the information on the project calls for it. All right, so and that's the reason I'm not really playing with, you know, my character here. All right, so for the dates, all right, I'm going to copy that. All right, and I'm going to paste that here. So right now, the first thing that draws people's attention here is the picture of the child, and then we now have the title. Then the next thing I want people to see on the project is the date and time. I mean the date, not even the date and time here. So I'm going to copy. I'm going to make this. I'm going to select the layer, and then I'm going to change this to light like that. And we can now have this somewhere here and make it smaller. All right. I can just make this come right here. Now there should be space. All right. So we can make this a bit smaller. Then we can draw a rule. All right. We can draw a rule right there. All right. And we can paste the anticipate here. But for the anticipate, we can use another character. if you really want to create drama, which is one of the ways we can create contrast. All right. So I can use Hoflet. Okay. Because it's one of the ways you can contrast type is when you use a sans serif and a serif type on your project. So I'm going to use Hoflet text here. All right. And okay, you know what we're going to do? Because of space, I'm going to move this to somewhere here. That's the dates. So I'm going to move the date to somewhere here. All right. Then we can move this below this, and we can make this bigger like that. Move this to somewhere here, you know, like that. All right. And make sure that your contents are well aligned. So we can move this to somewhere here. Okay. And for the dates, we can just move that to somewhere here and use a bold type. All right. And there should not be any space. I mean, don't make this text too tight. So we can move this here. Okay. We can move that somewhere here. We can activate our guides like there. So I can use 40, 40, and 40 here and hit the OK button. All right, then I'm going to move everything up. Okay, you know what? Let's just save this. Let's make this our first option for the layout. So we'll call this option 1. All right, so I'm going to make a copy of this with Ctrl J, and I'm going to hide this. And let's see how we can play with the second option. All right, so if I hit Ctrl H now, we have this simple looking project. And yeah, so this is where I'm going to stop. And if you still want to create drama, let's say you want your background to not look too flat, there's another thing you can do. You can make a copy of the title and make this bold like that, and make sure this is right here. All right, then you can position this somewhere here. Okay, and change the blend mode of this to overlay, and then you can now reduce the opacity of this a bit like that. So you can move this here. All right, so move this here, make a copy of it, Ctrl J, yeah, and you can now have this somewhere here. So I prefer this second option to the first one. So I prefer this to this. All right, yeah, but yeah, so we need to move this down a bit, and we can now move anticipate down a bit like that. All right, and we have our final project. I'm glad you made it to the end of this tutorial. I am sure you had fun. So if you have not subscribed, remember to hit the subscribe button, and remember to click the post notification bell so you get notified when I post my tutorials. If you love this video, give it a thumbs up, and please, one of the ways you can support this channel is to share this video with other creatives. I will appreciate if you can do that. Thank you again for watching, and I'll see you in the next one. Peace.